Welcome back to Speak Up Queen, the podcast where we empower, uplift, and celebrate women who have reclaimed their voices to inspire others. Today we are honored to welcome Karine de Mol, a trailblazing toxic self-talk mind shifter for Gen X women. Karine dedicates her work to helping women heal their relationship with themselves, silence the inner critic, and rediscover their confidence and self-belief. Drawing on her expertise in creatrix, hypnotherapy, positive psychology, NLP, EFT, and kinesiology, sorry, my Afrikaans brain, and emotional healing, Karine empowers women to reclaim their personal power and embrace a life filled with joy, because every woman is worth it. Karine's story is one of profound resilience. After losing her father to cancer at 10, and her stepfather at 15. She found herself living alone by 16. She turned to food to soothe her grief, but later transformed her life through education, self-development, and sheer determination. Karine put herself through a university in her 30s, discovered the transformative power of personal growth in her 40s, and leaned on those lessons to overcome her own cancer diagnosis at 56. Now, Karine uses her incredible journey as professional tools to help women rise above emotional overwhelm, shift their mindset, and thrive. Get ready to be inspired by her wisdom, her courage, and her unwavering belief in every woman's potential. Let's give a warm welcome to Karine de Mol.
Thank you so much, Marika. I love being here.
Karine, what was the most challenging limiting belief you had to overcome? And how did breaking free from it help you reclaim your voice?
Yeah, probably one of the biggest ones was that I didn't know how to be me. I wasn't good enough. I wasn't smart enough. I mean, I've overcome not being smart enough when I actually put myself through university. But there was still this thing that I couldn't be who I was, like because people wouldn't accept me who I was, and I just wasn't good enough. I wasn't worthy. And when I transformed that, it allowed me to just put my voice out there, get on here and talk about things like this to other people who can be encouraged and, inspired by, what I've been through. So yeah, that was probably the biggest ones for me.
Wow. Can you share when someone's words or actions made you feel small and how you found the strength to rise above it?
Yeah, I even remember some things like when I was 10 years old, or even younger probably. I remember, I talk about traumas and things like that, but things don't have to be this big trauma. They can be little things by someone just saying something to you. And I remember my auntie, or was a friend of the family, saying you shouldn't be wearing a bikini. And I think I was like 8 or 7 or something. And it's like, you've got this little potty stomach. So I always believed I was always overweight. And of course, that belief always then starts having you on and off diets, which is really not good for us as women because we just gain more weight. And I had it, and I actually end up with a binge eating problem because of that. I turned to food to soothe. And I have to admit, when I got cancer, I did go back to turning to food to soothe. Chocolate became my best friend. So those little things that people say to us, and there's been so many, obviously, when I was growing up, I couldn't talk to boys, and, boys used to tease you, all those sort of things. They just play on our mind, especially when we're younger, and it just makes us feel not very good. And then we carry that on for so long into our adulthood. And when you don't, most of the times you don't even realize you've got those problems. And I didn't until I actually discovered self-development. That was when I started realizing, oh, the reason why I gain weight is because of this. I don't feel safe. I don't feel worthy, all these sort of things. So you just don't know what someone has said to you and what harm it can do.
What safety resources, spaces, or tools have most impacted your healing journey?
Yeah. Well, as you notice, I've got so many self-development tools. But it was interesting. The one thing that really, the first self-development I sort of, I suppose, discovered was a guy called John Gabriel, and he talked about obviously weight issues and safety. So that was like kind of like the first thing, and that the reason why we hold on to weight is because of traumas. Then when I went to after finishing my accounting degree, I went and discovered self-development. I went to like a weekend course, And, you know, there's even things like I used to smoke. So smoking was my, thing to actually help guard me against my feelings. And I admitted that cigarettes were my only friend up on stage. Now, obviously, that's not true. I had lots of friends. But again, we get stuck on these things that make us think we need those tools or those things to keep us happy when it's not actually true. So it was just going through that journey of all these different things, finding out that trauma was holding me back, that things that had happened in my past was what was causing me to be unhappy, not believe in myself, not trust myself, not know who I was. I was always trying to be this other person. So hypnosis was like a big one for me, timeline therapy, creatrix. Creatrix was the biggest one for me, basically, to actually blow away and transform my beliefs, because a lot of other processes I use are fabulous, but things often came back. So that was, yeah, I mean, there's so many whatever you need, most if you find that in the right time for you, that's when it will work for you. So what I love, someone else might love, something else better. So
Definitely. What was your first step from feeling silence to finding your voice, and how did that change your life?
what was the first step? Yeah, the first step would have been it would have been when I found self-development and then found out that even though like I may stumble on my words, my voice is worthwhile listening to, that I have a story to tell, that what I can say will resonate with people, because they'll go, oh my God, yes, it's me too as well. So, and then just going out there and doing it, basically talking, and obviously all the different tools I learned obviously helped. NLP techniques are great for sort of, afraid of being public speaking. I was so scared of that when I did my accounting degree, and I was like working in an office, working around a table, and I was like one of the managers, and they was coming around to me to talk about my department. I'm like, and I would just blurt out something stupid. So it was once I did the self-development work, then I started to get more confidence, find myself, believe that, I did have something to say. And if I do mumble my words, that's okay too.
Especially me with I'm originally Afrikaans and English is my second language. And like this morning, my Afrikaans brain was taking over. I just wanted to talk in Afrikaans, and I'm like, no, it's English time, not Afrikaans. And then I'm like, oh, I'm saying some Afrikaans words while I'm talking, but that is okay. We are authentically ourselves. That is okay.
That's right. Yes, yes.
Karine, what's one powerful lesson you've learned about self-worth? And how do you carry it with you as you continue to grow and inspire others?
Yeah. Self-worth is the biggest thing that we need. Like if we can't believe in ourselves, we're going to sabotage ourselves in any goals. You can go out there and do all these affirmations and dream boards and all those sort of things. But if you don't have that belief, you're never going to actually reach out and grab it. You're always going to find an excuse to actually stop yourself. So for me, when I went through the process of especially Creatrix, NLP and that to begin with, and when I finally went through Creatrix, that for me just had this belief that now I am worthy and that I do believe in myself. And you transform it from a way that you never actually ever believed that you didn't have that worth before. So to me, that was the most amazing transformation, to allow me to get out there and, help other women, and also to help myself. Like, especially as I said, when I went through cancer, things like, I'm not going to survive this. My father died of cancer when I was, 10. So then me getting cancer at 50 odd, whatever it was, and it was like a big neck dissection, to transform those beliefs that I was going to die, I wasn't going to survive it, I'm going to be in pain all the time, all those sort of things helps to move forward. So any belief that you have, whether it be not good enough or anything that pops up, needs to be transformed so you can actually still live your life with joy. And yeah, you're still going to struggle. Don't get me wrong. I struggled through the cancer. I was, I had a neck dissection, so my neck was like that for a good 12 months. And they took out neck muscles. So when you go through things like that, yes, you're going to have to still struggle with the pain, two different things, but I could use hypnosis for the pain relief. Two, I had the nurses dressing me every day and they were hypnotizing me going, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. The burn's going to get worse from after radiation. The burn's going to get worse. Even after we've stopped radiation, the burn's going to get worse. And I started thinking, oh my God, like this is crazy. What am I doing? I'm actually buying into they hypnotize me. So I started doing my own hypnosis and they started saying, when they're dressing me, what are you doing? The redness doesn't look as bad. I said, I stopped buying into your BS. That my body can heal faster if we actually have those beliefs. So again, if we have beliefs that I'm going to be sick, on all these different things, we're going to get sicker. So we have to transform those beliefs so we can actually live our life with joy and happiness and survive through those struggles. So.
Wow. If you could tell your 17-year-old self one thing, what would it be and why?
My 7-year-old self, I would say, you are beautiful just as you are. You don't need to use food to soothe. You don't need to hate your body. You don't need to tone down. You don't need to be squashed down. Because I do remember at a young age, I was always very active. If I was lying on the ground, I'd have my legs up in the air doing cycles. Every time I walked through a walkway, I would jump up and touch the top of the doorway. And I was always being told to sit down, be quiet, always trying to quiet me down. And then, of course, as you get older, you become like a couch sleuth because you've always been told not to be active. So yeah, I would tell myself to not my 7-year-old self that you're perfect just as you are. Enjoy your energy, go out there, have fun, and don't tone down, be yourself.
Definitely. How do you set boundaries to protect your energy and peace? And what have you learned from this practice?
Okay, this is my woo-woo side, as my partner calls it. So I do protection bubbles. I do like a white light coming down through my body. First off, I do grounding. I could do a ground imagining the green grass coming up through the soles of my feet, coming up through my body, and then out through the top of my head. And then I see a white light coming down and entering into my body and going down through the soles of my feet out to the crystals down below. When I breathe it out, put a protection bubble around myself. What that does is I'm a bit of an empath, so it protects my taking on other people's emotions. And then, of course, if I have been somewhere or walked in somewhere or worked with someone who I feel like their energy is kind of attached to me, I'll cut the cords as well. So to me, that has been a big thing, even to the point where I was working in my accounting job and this woman, when I first started, she didn't like me for some reason because I had to come in and tell her how to do GST and all those sort of things. And I thought, oh, this is thing. I just had to I kept doing my protection every day. And within about 2 weeks, she's totally transformed how she reacted to me. So I do believe energetically doing your protection is good for us because it protects our emotions, protects our soul and stuff. Yeah.
Definitely. How do you
Do
define?
you do any of that sort of stuff? Do you do any
Uh,
protection?
I do grounding. But I do believe that we are attracting energy, and I am like, that's my boundaries. If I feel like you're negative and my body is screaming, nope, get out of there, I'm leaving. I
Yeah.
don't care if you're my best friend or if you're a friend or a family member. If I don't feel safe in my body and my gut is telling me, get out, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Um,
I also do send because I have these symbols, so I use those symbols in my mind when I'm doing it. And I will send symbols to someone and spin it around them to clear their energy if someone's been a bit sort of funny with me. We had a teacher when I was learning kinesiology, and she was like a bit sort of erratic and sort of like be snappy at people. So I started spinning my symbols around her, trying to calm her down, sending her unconditional love and all these sort of things. And it did actually work sometimes. And it was funny, I had one of the other students come up and go, "You were spinning a symbol and it looked like this," and she drew it. And I was doing this all in my head. And she drew the symbol that I was spinning around this woman. It was like, wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing how we can help other women and share some positivity, share some light.
Yes.
It is just amazing that energy flows. Energy, we
Yeah.
attract energy. The law of attraction is real. It is really,
Yes.
you're attracting some light when you are starting to love yourself, and
Yes.
you're really attracting this light.
Yes, definitely.
Karine, how do you define thriving today? And what mindset shifts or practices help you embrace this definition?
So what was the first part of that?
How do you define thriving today?
Driving. Oh, yeah,
Yes.
gotcha. Yeah. There was the accent there, sorry.
That's okay.
Right. Thriving is being who you want to be, having what you want. No one else's definition can actually tell you what thriving is. So for me, thriving is being healthy. So obviously through cancer, that's altered my health, and through using chocolate to soothe through cancer, I've gained some weight, which has then caused me some pains in my body, extra pains other than the pains through my neck. So for me, thriving is getting back on track, feeling good in my body again, where I feel in a safe space. And thriving is going out there and actually enjoying, because when you get into a point where you're not feeling happy with yourself, you stop living life. You kind of go, you say no to certain things because you think, oh no, I can't do that. You don't, you tone yourself down. You be quieter because you don't want people to notice you. So thriving is being who you are, putting it out there, and just really, really enjoying life, and just going out there and living, because life's too short. Life, you need to live it and just enjoy it while you're here. We're only here for a short space of time. So make the most of it. Travel, do whatever it is that makes you happy.
I love it. The last question. What made you decide to be featured on Speak Up Queen? And how does it feel knowing that there's a safe space for women to share their stories and inspire others?
It's funny. I probably at first to actually share my story and stuff like that. I did write a book with another therapist, and through that process, it actually helped get it out. And then, of course, lots of journaling, but sharing your story, your hurts, all those sort of things came, I think, more after I'd written them there in black and white on paper, you know. I was like, whoa. And then, you know, all your friends and family have seen what you've written. So that kind of makes a big difference. But for anyone starting out, just start journaling, because the more you actually get used to your story and actually putting it out there, and just start speaking to close friends and family and how you feel, then it allows you to actually get more used to actually talking about it, because everyone's got a story. Everyone's got something that they can talk about, they can inspire someone else, and they need to get that out there, because even if you inspire one other person with your story, then you've helped that other person. So yeah, I think it's so important that we get ourselves out there and talk more about what's hurt, what we've done to help ourselves, and you know, because someone may just get that thing that works for them as well from your story.
Well, Karine, thank you so much for sharing your powerful and inspiring story with us today. Your journey reminds us of the strength and courage it takes to heal, grow, and thrive. To everyone tuning in, remember your voice and your story have the power to inspire and create change. If today's episode resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Until next time, Queens, keep speaking up and embracing your power.